How's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group and RetireSharp.com. In today's topic, I want to discuss with you in detail what is the best rollover IRA for your specific situation. So, for starters, what exactly is a rollover IRA? What's the difference between that and like an employer-sponsored retirement plan such as a 401k? And then I'm going to show you regarding what your current situation is, whether you're younger and you have many years until retirement, how to leverage the best possible IRA that way, or if you're only 15, 10, 5 years or currently in retirement, what are some neat techniques on how you could make sure that you're obtaining a successful retirement by leveraging either one IRA or multiple IRAs. So kind of think of it like an overall large puzzle piece and putting correct shapes and sizes within that puzzle piece and trying to designate your lanes correctly, for overall retirement success. So, when watching this video, please make sure to take notes. At any point in time, you can give our 1-800 number a call. It's 1-800-566-1002, and we have specialists standing by. We offer 24/7 customer service. You simply just tell them that you watch this video and you want to speak to a specialist regarding this video, and we'll make sure to have somebody, either give you a call back or patch it right over to that. So, to truly understand what the best rollover IRA is, we need to know what an IRA is, and before that, we need to see what you guys are already familiarized with. So that might be like the typical type of retirement plan for employees is something known as a 401k plan. So how a 401k plan works is, I want you to think of this kind of like a bucket. What's happening is when somebody goes to work for a company, they're offered their employee benefits package. That might be their life insurance, their health insurance, ancillary products such as short-term disability or accident plans or whatever that is. And then they're also going to see something that says, hey, you could contribute a portion of your salary into a type of retirement account, a type of qualified retirement account. So the most common type is going to be a 401k plan. And the way that a 401k plan grows is by when this person is adding contributions into this plan, and then also based upon the rate of return that is tied to the different mutual funds and the different funding options that they have available. So with a typical 401k, when you get your employee benefits package and you're looking into your 401k plan, it's going to say, okay, you have anywhere between right around like 10 to maybe 25 different funds to choose from. And based upon how you choose these funds is going to correlate to whether this rate of return is going to be positive for that day or is going to be negative. So like as an example, if somebody was going and placing their money in their 401k plans in the 90s, well, they weren't only just adding contributions into this plan, but then they were getting significant large rates of return. So it was basically double compound interest that was growing this retirement account. When you fast forward to 2008, you had individuals that walked into the year possibly with $500,000 sitting in their 401k account. They were still adding contributions, but because this rate of return came back negative, meaning the funds that they chose might have been tied to the stock market, and the stock market plunged, during that 2008 Great Recession, and maybe they walked back into the year, walking into 2009 with only $300,000. So the concept that I want you guys to understand is these, how you choose these options are very important. And I want you to think of them as eggs in your basket. So, if you're going and you have these different funding options within your employer-sponsored retirement plan, whether that be a 401k for private institutions, a 403b for state institutions, a TSP for federal employees, a 457 plan for, municipalities, different things like that, that's essentially, they're all qualified retirement accounts. But the way on how this grows is by the combination of contributions and rate of return. If the contributions are, consistent, that's fine. That's obviously adding more dollars into the bucket. But if this rate of return comes back with a negative, this could wipe out years and years of gains. So why is that important? Where exactly does an IRA come into play? An IRA is an individual retirement account. So this is a retirement account that's established through an individual, it's not employer sponsored. So what happens is through the individual retirement account, this is also known as a qualified type retirement plan. The major difference between this and a type of 401k, and we're not talking about usually when somebody has a type of 401k plan or employer-sponsored retirement plan, they might be offered something known as a match, which says if they're adding contributions into their plan, their employer might match as like a further incentive to stay at that company. So if it's somebody has an IRA, an individual retirement account, they're not going to match money to themselves. So that's going to be the main difference on the contribution side. but they could still add dollars into their type of individual retirement account. So this is just a typical traditional IRA. If we remember that 401k formula, it goes by what? Contributions and rate of return is going to equal whatever that size of this bucket is. So this is where the large, that's where that large difference is regarding the 401k and the IRA is on this rate of return side. With an IRA, instead of the 401k only having about 10 to 25 different eggs in your basket to choose from, an IRA could be customized. An IRA could have thousands and thousands of different combinations of different funds and options to choose from. So like sometimes you could invest in like gold and silver, and you could put it into fixed accounts like a bank CD or like a fixed annuity. You could go and put it into mutual funds. You could go and put it into individual stocks, bonds, ETFs. There's a whole slew of different options available. And because you have so many options, you could customize this. Typically, you could customize it better and have something that will give you a higher quality related accounts, higher quality funds. When you have, anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 to choose, you could have higher quality at a lower cost, or just, higher quality to say that, okay, unlike a school of fish, if you only have very limited options with your 401k related plan, and that plan only works really well when the market goes up, but when the market goes down, that account's going to crash and burn, you could have better diversification in there. Different asset classes that, yes, might work well when the market goes up, might work well when the market goes sideways, or might work well when the market goes down, because you have all those different, think of them as eggs in your basket to choose from. So when someone's looking to open up a traditional IRA, they could still add contributions into this, and then this rate of return side is almost unlimited. There's just so many different plethora of options available. So the major difference between these two, if you're segmenting dollars into a 401k and you're working for a company or an IRA, are the contribution limitations. So like if you're under the age of 50 in 2018, the contribution limits are going to be right around $5,500, as opposed to with a 401k related account, it's going to be right around $17,000, $18,000 under the age of 50. When you above the age of 50, you have something known as catch-up contributions, and you could add a little bit more into the 401k, you could add a little bit more into the IRA, but it's essentially very limited. The IRA, they're giving you all this flexibility, but they're giving you limitations on what that contribution is. So on an apples-to-apples comparison, that's what it looks like. Which brings me to my next point is, what is an actual rollover IRA? Why is that beneficial for a situation? Well, when somebody either hits a specific age, they're deemed retired, or let's say they leave that old company, well, now they have options to take their qualified retirement account, such as that old 401k. I'm just using 401k as an example. And they could roll over those monies into a type of traditional IRA. So therefore, that cap limit on whatever that contribution side is, $5,500, $6,500 that you would have if you were just establishing your own individual retirement account, that cap limit is non-existent. So when we're looking at somebody that was working for a company, let's say they started working for their company in their 20s and their 30s, they were working for 10 years, they've accumulated all these dollars that they were adding contributions, the company was giving them a match, they were getting a rate of return from whatever those funding options were on their 401k, and now they grew this 401k account to, let's say, $300,000, and they left they severed ties with that employer, and now they start working for a new company that's establishing a new 401k. Well, rather than going and taking these dollars and placing it with the new company, what they could do is utilize these dollars, roll it over into a traditional IRA, and what they just did was that contribution side is the rollover. It's qualified to qualified, so they're not getting hit with taxation. And then this rate of return side, rather than it being in those limited funding options with the typical 401k of in between 10 to 25, think of them as eggs in your basket, if they took those monies and put it in their new company 401k, they would still be limited on those types of funding options. If they took these dollars and they rolled it into an individual retirement account, well, now they have 3,000 to 5,000 different eggs in their basket to choose from, 3,000 to 5,000 different options, and can be more customized. Things that have higher quality, things that prevent large drawdowns with downward markets, or things that they could attach certain income guarantees to that will suffice what their retirement situation is. So from an apples to apples comparison, if someone does sever employment, typically the smart thing to do would be to roll it over, particular to what that person's circumstance is, because it's giving them a lot more options with an IRA as opposed to the limited options through that 401k related plan. So a large misconception that individuals don't realize is, like with a 401k, the match is an incentive to place those dollars into a 401k. When you stop working for that employer, those old 401k monies are now essentially shut off from that contribution side, and now you're just relying on that rate of return side. So why would you stay in a limited rate of return side, limited funding options to get this type of rate of return, when you could just roll it over into something that could potentially give you a better rate of return? Now, if you go and you roll it over into your new company 401k, well, it's not like the 401k plan or that company is going to be matching you off of the dollars that you've contributed, off of the dollars that you've rolled over. Those dollars, in this example, the $300,000 example, if you're still adding in $1,000 a month or $10,000 a year, the only match that is going on with those plans is whatever you're contributing. So what's sitting in that overall retirement account has nothing to do with what that match is. So that's why it doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch with this new plan and you took these $300,000 from the old retirement and you put that into the IRA, the traditional IRA, because now this could be, better customized. So I hope that point makes a lot of sense, because that's a very large misconception that I get with questions of people that are calling into the agency. So now it brings us to the point, what is the best rollover IRA? And this really depends upon what your situation is. If you're somebody in your 30s or in your 40s and you have, 20, 25 plus years to retire, well, typically this is something known as an accumulation stage or an accumulation strategy. So this is where somebody might be willing to take more risk because they understand that their account could have some hiccups, could have some drawdowns, to have that potential to have a higher rate of return over the long haul. So they might be invested in something known as more aggressive, type plan. So if they're going and they're rolling over their IRA, they might want to have a higher portion in the stock market as opposed to with fixed income based assets. So that might, work out really well for the individual that says, okay, I have, over 20, 25 years worth of retirement. I'm in my accumulation stage. I just basically want to try to have as high of a rate of return as possible, and I'm not concerned with income just yet. Also, if somebody's younger, they could start planning and they could start leveraging different insurance companies and different things that could give them gains whenever the market goes up, doesn't lose whenever the market goes down, and is attaching lifetime income riders onto this plan that acts like a type of personal pension plan. So like, as an example, if somebody goes and they're rolling over $100,000 and they're in their 40s, they're age 40, and they say, I don't want to really take the risk of the market. I don't want to have that whole hiccup of the market going up and then crashing and burning. I want to actually at least have some security on these monies. I want to go and place it with an insurance company and something known as like a fixed indexed annuity, as an example, that could still have gains whenever those stock market indexes go up, but gain 0% whenever those indexes go down. And then on top of it, when they hit their retirement ages, maybe age 60, this could also trigger specific guaranteed lifetime income streams through a lifetime income rider that was established through that insurance company contract as well. So there are some stages with this accumulation. You could either set this up in a safety play, or you could set this up on a more aggressive play. The more aggressive play would be by leveraging different stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, whatever that case might be, just to give you a better plethora of eggs in your basket than staying put in that old 401k. Or you could have some more preservation on there, some more consistency onto your accounts, eliminate those large drawdowns, eliminate the fees that come along with mutual funds and advisor fees, and then use more of that insurance related route. So that could be a type of situation for somebody that's younger. Now, where we get a little bit more specific is for that individual that's about 10 years out, 15, 10, 5, or even currently in their retirement, and that's known as a wealth preservation and distribution strategy. And this is something that works out really popular for a rollover IRA. And what we notice is that we could actually do multiple rollover IRAs with this type of situation. What do I mean by that? I'll use the example of, let's say if we have an individual that is age 55 and they understand that they want to retire at age 65. Why do they want to retire at 65? Is because that's usually an ideal date, and then this is also where Medicare could kick in as well. Large misconception regarding Medicare is individuals think that if they trigger Social Security income at age 62, that is when they would receive Medicare. That is not correct. Medicare is at age 65. So even if somebody's leveraging Social Security income at age 62, that does not mean that because they're receiving Social Security income early, that they're going to get their Medicare early. So that's going to be a large gap. So many times individuals like to leverage like age 65 is an ideal age, or whatever their Social Security, something known as the FRA, their full retirement age, is suffice to get their full retirement benefit from Social Security. So in this example, this individual is age 55. He just severed employment with one company. He has $500,000 that's sitting into an old 401k account. Wants to retire at age 65, and he's working for his new company that's offering him a 401k plan with we'll call it a 3% match. This person at age 65, after doing a budgeting analysis, he understands what his expenses are right now. At age 65, this person is going to need $50,000 of income every year till the day that he passes away. So starting at age 65, it doesn't matter if he lives to age 80, to age 100, to age 120, whatever that is, he needs exactly $50,000 per year, each and every year, to the day that he passes away. How exactly can we accomplish this goal successfully? What exactly are different things that he should be looking for regarding the best rollover IRA, regarding this old 401k? How should he establish possibly his 401k monies with his contributions right now? And, what is the overall, larger picture? What is the overall point A to point B scenario? And this is where strategy comes in. So a successful retirement strategy would be to leverage three major components, three major things to make sure that he could retire with ultimate success and not have to worry in retirement. So the first thing is he wants to make sure that he has ample amount of income sources coming to him at that age 65 when he's looking to call it quits. Now, at that age 65, he could also say, okay, I might just go back part-time, or I just want to completely walk out into the sunset, fish every day, visit my grandkids, whatever that case might be. That's basically his cutoff age is age 65, where he doesn't want to work again. Income sources are very important. What I mean by that is what is a way that we could utilize his old retirement accounts to make sure that his income sources are greater than his expenses. If his expenses are $50,000 and he has income that's coming to him at age 65 of only $30,000, well, he has a shortfall of $20,000. So we need to make sure that we're sufficing what that shortfall is. That's the first aspect, is income sources. The second aspect is emergency funds. When he's in those retirement years, rule of thumb is you want to have anywhere between 6 to 12 months of reserves in case of a rainy day fund. So like maybe another $50,000 of just liquid cash that he could access at any time. He needs to buy a new car, he has a medical ailment, he wants to take an additional trip, whatever that case might be, just something that he could dip into as an emergency fund play. And then the third aspect is combat inflation. Have some sort of purchasing power risk. And what I mean by that is when an individual is looking to retire at age 65 and they say, okay, well, I understand my expenses are going to be $50,000 per year starting at age 65. Well, some expenses are going to be known as fixed expenses, and other expenses are going to be known as inflationary expenses, meaning like cost of goods and services increasing year by year by year. Entertainment, different things that are going to step up with the pace of inflation, that maybe at age 65 it's going to be $50,000 of expenses that he needs to retire off of, but maybe by the time he's age 68 this is going to be $52,000. Maybe by the time he's age 70 this is going to be $55,000. So there's going to be a specific formula to make sure that it is correct regarding what his expenses are, and then how exactly can we be greater than what the expenses are. So just a really simple hypothetical example with this situation, if the person says, I want to have pure peace of mind, I don't just want to risk my money in the market, I want to make sure that I'm at least covering my income sources, I'm at least making sure that I have ample amount of emergency funds, and I want to make sure that I'm combating inflation. What are some different solutions that I could do? So to reiterate, this person's age 55, he has about $500,000 old 401k monies. His ideal retirement age is age 65. He has expenses at age 65 are going to be $50,000. Social Security income at age 65, we just put a hypothetical $30,000. So we essentially have a gap at age 65, from now until age 65, of what his income is $20,000, and he currently has a 401k with a 3% match. So if we're looking at the three main criteria that we want to see are covered, his income sources are equal to $30,000, but his expenses are $50,000. So we need to help solve this piece. What we want to do is leverage something that will provide him that lifetime income by leveraging a portion of this $500,000 today, defer it out for 10 years, and then trigger a lifetime income stream. So what I'm referring to is a type of specifically designed traditional IRA hybrid annuity, which is a fixed index annuity with an income rider. The reason why I typically recommend that is because those are the ones that are paying the highest payouts for a type of 10-year deferral for this person's situation. And maybe out of this, because he's leveraging all those different years, it might only cost him $200,000. So this would make up best rollover IRA would be an IRA annuity number one. So this would be IRA number one. And what exactly happens? Well, out of this $500,000, if he rolls over $200,000 portion of that into the properly designed, the best possible one for his specific area, this says the day that he hits age 65, the day that he wants to retire, he's triggering Social Security income, and then he'll also be triggering that annuity income through the traditional IRA annuity. It's IRA number one. He still has $300,000 in that example. He still has $300,000 left over. The next column brings us to his emergency funds. Rule of thumb is you want to have about 6 to 12 months of expenses into some sort of liquid cash. So maybe he's taking $50,000 from this $300,000, putting on the sidelines and saying that he could access this at any point in time. So maybe this might just be a really simple type of IRA that is not trying to gain with the market or lose with the market and have all this growth, just something that is safe, secured, protected, that he could leverage as a type of rainy day fund by the time he hits age 65. So maybe these dollars, these portion of dollars, would be rolled over into an IRA, into like a type of money market account, something that's super liquid, meaning easily accessible. So that would suffice step two. So now maybe they have $250,000 left over. And now it comes into to combat the inflationary need. Instead of leaving those dollars, the $250,000, into the 401k related account and being limited with how that rate of return is, being limited with those typical 10 to 25 different eggs, different options to choose from, go leverage these dollars into managed money accounts, different things that could grow when the market goes up, grow when the market goes sideways, grow when the market goes down, properly diversified plans that are low in cost, high quality, different things that could grow these accounts. You could also leverage insurance-related contracts without income riders, different things that could gain when the market goes up, not lose when the market goes down, such as indexing strategies. You could leverage, different, fixed accounts such as, bank CDs, treasury bonds, fixed annuities. There's a whole slew of plethora of options, and what this could do is possibly, take the $250,000 and grow that account, because now you have 10 years worth of growth that you're splicing it up amongst a couple of different areas. Maybe you want to have $100,000 go into a really aggressive play, another $100,000 that is going more into a moderate play, and then you want to have $50,000 that's going more to a safety play. So now these are, 3 separate IRA accounts. So the best rollover IRA, yes, somebody, and this is something that agents do too often, which I don't like, is they'll say, okay, your need is $50,000 of income. Let's just take the full $500,000 and throw it into an annuity. No, that's not correct. It's because you're throwing too much money into an annuity. There's some restrictions with annuities. Annuities could be leveraged as a really good tool for an income play, but it's not going to be this one all be all, end to all your dreams and solutions. The proper diversification, the proper thing is to segment into these different lanes. So like this is IRA number one. This checked off the income sources. IRA number 2 checked off the emergency fund. IRA number 3, 4, and 5 checked off that inflationary need so that this person could dip into these additional accounts each and every year that he's living and living and living beyond his 60s, to say, okay, maybe at age 67, 68, his expense need is going to be $52,000 or $55,000 each and every year to live off of. Well, now he has these nice buckets that are increasing with that pace of inflation that you could tie it to increase with that pace of inflation to make sure that you can pull from through these specifically designed IRA contracts through that step 3. So what we're doing is we're taking a situation, and we're just making sure that these, like a perfect puzzle piece, like a large puzzle, we're segmenting specific lanes within that puzzle to make sure everything's matching up perfectly. What we're not doing is we're not guessing. We're not just saying, oh, okay, well, I have a lot of money and everything should just kind of work itself out, and I'll just kind of throw it into some aggressive things, or I'll just leave it in my 401k, and I should be able to just keep pulling out these monies. Because that's where individuals, and this is what happened with a lot of seniors and baby boomers, especially when they experienced the downturn in the lost decade from 2001 to 2011, they were having drawdowns to their accounts. They were placing their monies with financial advisors that were tracking on very large fees, and they were double dipping. They were basically making commissions off of mutual funds that they were placing them into. They were making commissions off of advisor fees that they were placing them into. This individual was pulling money from this account. They were pulling out income from that account. They were experiencing large downward market losses, and what we had was a power of compound interest that was working against their account. So, as an example, this person could say, okay, I'm going to roll over my monies, and I'm not even going to worry about it because there's so much money there. Well, if they're paying certain fees, and by the time it comes due for age 65, and they're pulling out too much money too quickly, and they're experiencing a large drawdown, it could liquidate their retirement accounts very quickly. Like a case in point would be somebody has $500,000 and they experienced, 2008, or even just experienced a 10% drop. And this person was paying, $10,000, we'll call it $5,000 of mutual fund related fees, $5,000 of advisor fees for that year. They're trying to siphon out about 20 grand worth of income, and then, they experience about a $50,000 loss to their retirement account. Well, this person would have pulled out $20,000 that year, but they would have ended up losing $80,000 worth of value. So walking into the next year, they only have $420,000 to pull from. If there's another downward market loss, or they say, okay, I want to actually pull out more monies, it's essentially a negative that could keep compounding and putting pressure against their accounts. Now, obviously, this is a good situation, but why, if you have the opportunity to have some sort of certainty, if you have the opportunity to at least establish a strategy, a concrete strategy, why would you even want to take that risk? It doesn't make any sense, because the worst case scenario is this person outlives his retirement savings, and then they have to go back to work in their 70s. When you're properly structured, he has more than enough faucets, more than enough income streams that are coming to him, more than enough emergency funds, more than enough inflationary protection, more than enough buckets that he could live a happy and healthy retirement life. This very last thing that we like to do is we run something known as free 401k stress tests. So what I mentioned over here, as it says, current 401k is a 3% match. It might make sense for him to place his salary, put about 3% into his his new 401k plan, and make sure that he's choosing the correct options available. So what we'd like to do is look underneath the hood, see exactly what he's currently investing his dollars into, run an actual scientific calculation on this, and saying, okay, based upon all your different 10 to 25 eggs in your basket to choose from, what might be the best optimization to make sure that you could have a good rate of return with the least amount of risk into that type of plan. So it's basically monitoring that until that they are getting to age 65, and then that's a new efficient bucket that he could leverage for a whole slew of different reasons. So this is everything essentially in a nutshell. I hope that everything made sense. I hope you found a lot of value in this video. And at any time, feel free to give our 1-800 number a call, 1-800-566-1002, and just let them know that you saw this video, that you wanted to speak to a specialist regarding your specific situation. We'll have somebody that helps you out. A more efficient way to actually deal with a specialist is to go directly through our website and book an appointment through our digital calendar. So the name of our website is afossifinancial.com, or you could type in retiresharp.com, and it'll bring you to the same exact spot. The retiresharp.com URL is going to be within our video description. So you just basically click on that, and then you could navigate throughout our website, see exactly what we do. And then over here is this little icon is going to pop up, and it says schedule appointment. So you'll be able to see our calendar, and then segment a specific time and be able to deal with the specialist specifically that way. So I hope you found value in this video. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Retire Sharp, so you can have access to the most updated videos. Thanks so much, guys, for watching, and be on the lookout for some of our newer videos. Take care.